Okay. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Welcome to Getting to Inner Freedom. This masterclass feels like a very special masterclass for me to share because it's very close to my heart. I am no Eckhart Tolle. I am no Byron Katie. I am no Mooji. I'm quoting some great spiritual leaders. There's so many. But I do believe that I have a voice in this area because I know that where our inner freedom lies. I know how I sabotage myself from that inner freedom. And I believe I have a voice to share on this because I'm so human and so not there yet. And sometimes I feel like, when we listen to those spiritual leaders, it's like, it's easy for you. You live in an ashram or, So let me start sharing. First of all, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Niamh. It's spelled Niamh, but it's pronounced Niamh, a good Irish name. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here. You can check out my real bio on my website with my certifications and my master's in education and my 13 years at the UN, living in Geneva from Ireland, etc. But what I do want to say is I am the founder of the Fired Up Coaching Academy, an academy that I founded this year, and it's really in the foundational stages, but it's I love it. I love helping others to find tools to coach ourselves. Some people there do not want to become coaches, but learning the tools for helping ourselves, because life is painful, right? It's beautiful, it's joyful, it's so many things, but to manage that pain, for me personally, I won't say, oh, I've had more pain than others, because that's like, I don't believe that's true. But I believe that I've always been seeking, like, okay, how do we navigate this best? So I've been learning tools since the age of 16. I remember being glued to a book called Codependency No More by Melody Beattie. I should reread it, keep saying that to myself, since it was my first. Well, I won't say it was my first book, because my father had two books at home. The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, I think, and How to Win Friends and Influence People. Maybe that was by Norman Vincent Peale. I can't remember. But those two books, I remember, were at home, and there was not much television, there was no internet, and I guess I used to flick through those books a bit. So that was probably my first encounter with trying to heal my pain, to be honest. But I'm certain that there is a way, and I'm going to share that with you now. Passionate about finding the best way to manage this adventure called life. I'm on a mission to take myself less seriously, and I'll talk a little bit more about the self soon. But that's why I chose this photo, because it really is me. Like, it's like I'm not going to put a serious spiritual photo of me meditating, even though I do meditate on a near daily basis. Since actually, I know when I started, I donated a kidney to my sister about maybe 13 years ago now, 12 or 13 years ago, I don't know. But it was a terrifying experience for me. I was so afraid of going under, and so afraid that I wouldn't wake up, and so afraid of the knife. And so I decided at that time that in order to get through that, I would need to start meditating. So I remember, and interestingly, so interesting, Kim Eng, who is the wife of Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is a great spiritual teacher, and Kim Eng, she gave some meditation. I would love to find it again, because I just literally downloaded from Audible some meditations from Kim Eng. I love them. I would recommend them. But that one wasn't there. And it's the one I did the morning of the surgery and coming up to the surgery. And it helped me so much. That was my start of my meditation journey. And I realized that it calmed me down. And what I didn't realize at the time, and what I know now, is it just quietened that voice, that incessant voice that's always trying to hook us, always trying to distract us. It's probably distracting you right now and saying, oh, I wonder, has anyone messaged me on Facebook? Or I wonder what's on TV tonight, or whatever. It's just, it distracts us from being present. and then we'll get hooked in with stories about what a person said, what a person did, and it's called busy mind syndrome, but the ego feeds on it, loves it. And I'll share more about that soon. But right, so I discovered that meditation helped me. And then I split up with my ex-husband in 2017, which was a very painful experience to go through, because we had 3 kids. We have 3 beautiful children. And that was just, I thought, okay, again, how am I going to manage myself? I started meditating for 2 hours every morning, 2 hours. It was like the conversation I dreaded most in my life was to let the children know. And so I meditated for 44 days from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. every morning. I intended to do it for 100 days, but life got in the way. What can I say? But that experience did also help me to realize that connection, that peace, that freedom is inside of us, not outside of us. Plus, I became a certified facilitator of the work of Byron Katie. That's a process that I learned. I got exposed to it in 2009 and fell in love with it because I learned how to identify my stressful thoughts, question them, and let go of them. But not only that, I learned that the situation or the person or the event outside was never, I repeat, never the cause of my pain. My thoughts about it were. It's the mind, the ego, that's causing all our pain, all our suffering, all our resistance to what is. My conviction is that our inner peace lies beyond our ego. It lies beyond that voice in our head. So I'm going to do my very best to help you to free yourself from it as much as possible. Or maybe you'll do better than me and completely free yourself from it. I'm definitely not there yet. God help me, I'd love to be. However, I'm going to share, there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off, and I'm going to share what you have to let go of. And there's a part of me that's, I guess, not willing to let go of that yet. But I do have glimpses of it, and I want to share that with you too. Okay. So, hi, whoever's on, comment and let me know who you are, where you're calling in from. You're not calling in, are you? That's a bit old-fashioned. We're not on, what was it called before? There was something that like everyone used to call in, and I can't remember the name of the software that was used, but hey, we don't do that anymore. We just show up online. Right. This quote is just, it's so powerful, and it's one that, I mean, it should be hanging on my wall, really. From Rumi. I think he was 13th century philosopher, poet in Iran. Correct me if I'm wrong, but approximately that region, approximately that era. And he said some great things. He was very wise. And one thing he said was, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. It's not this particular field. This particular field, it's a photo I took 2 days ago. It was so beautiful. Now it's raining today, but that day it was just beautiful, frosty and sunny and snow in the mountains and just paradise. So I think that's a perfect field to use for this quote. Out behind the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. To talk about ideas, language, even the phrase, there shouldn't be a full stop after that about, to talk about ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. Even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So there's no separateness. The ego loves to separate us, to make us feel special, to make us feel different. Whether we're different in a negative way or a positive way, the ego's got one goal, to make us separate. And that's done with our thoughts and with our beliefs. And with I'm right and they're wrong. That's the favorite way that the ego loves to be right, to be right, to be right. So this one, and I'm guilty of that. Believe me, I can feel it. I can feel the physical constriction in my body, and I can feel when I let go of it. I'm going to quote Byron Katie. She says, because we're coming up to the festive season, the holidays, she says, the greatest gift that you can give somebody in the holiday season, because you're usually around family, your best teachers, the ones who can push your buttons the best gift that you can give them is the gift of being right. Try it out. Try it out. At first it feels so painful. It's like, no, but I need them. I need them to understand. I need them to get, I need to defend my point of view. I need to clarify. when you let go of that, it's incredible, actually, the power of not needing them to understand you. The constriction goes away. Okay, so our agenda for today, that I have half an hour to get through. I'll do my best. Inner conflict and the ego, I'm going to share about. I'm going to talk to you about your true essence. That's where your inner freedom lies. And I'm going to help you to get to inner freedom. Okay, human pain. The human pain, the pain body. Now, I'm referring to Eckhart Tolle here. Eckhart Tolle, he wrote a great best-selling book called The Power of Now. And another fantastic, well, he wrote several. He wrote Stillness Speaks also. But the other one is A New Earth. Oh, it's such a fabulous book about the ego. And when you read it, if you have it, comment below if you've already read it. I just reread it and it's just fantastic. It's like he really explains so well, and it's laughable. It's laughable how we defend our and how we how we complain and how we put others down and make them wrong and ourselves right, or make ourselves wrong and them right. And the drama that we create with our minds, we are literally insane. And I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's fascinating. It's when you get still and really become aware of the thoughts and the beliefs that are going through your mind, and you can catch the pain body, the human, the ego, when you can catch it at work and observe it. Because, by the way, there's two of you in there. There is that voice and there is the one observing the voice. Not only is there two of you in there during the day, there's two of you in there when you sleep. How else would you remember your dreams? There's the dreamer and the one dreaming, the one observing the dream. Fascinating, isn't it? So when we're awake and when we're asleep, and it's even, if I'm to go really out there, it's like it's debatable which one is the waking and which one is the sleeping, you know, because there's also a theory that when we're awake, that's a dream too. And that when we're about to die, we realize, oh, that was all just a crazy dream that we take so seriously. And the more seriously that we take it, the more we're hooked in, the more pain we experience. So that's one quick tip, is taking yourself less seriously, letting go of perfectionism, letting go of getting it right, letting go of the need to be seen in a certain way. It's such a relief. It's so freeing. It's a freeing way to live. And I go in and out with that one, but it's something that I'm trying to, and by the way, we teach what we need to learn. There's a reason why on my birthday, I decided to share this content, because it's something that I realize, you know, reflecting on it's a time of the year, right, that you reflect on what's important to you, what you want for your future. And for me, that's what I want. I want that inner freedom. I know that I function better as a human being. I know that I'm more connected and that I'm less pulled into the drama of life when I'm operating from detachment from ego as much as possible. So the activators of the pain body, it's usually relationships with our loved ones. They're our greatest teachers. You don't need to go to India to find your guru. You're usually living with them or in a relationship with them. So does that make sense? Comment below. Is there a loved one in your life, or maybe not in your life because you're not speaking to them, but there's somebody close to you? They're your guru. And this is, I'm quoting Byron Katie. She says, you don't need to go to India to find them. And in every person that we're living with, or you know, loved ones that we're connected with, it's so easy to love people that we're not super close to or not living with. It's so easy, but the ones that get super close, they're the ones that are best at triggering our pain body, and we're best at triggering their pain body. And it can get messy and very painful, and we get sucked into that drama because of our need to be right. So relationships with loved ones, relationships with ourselves, we can also just give ourselves such a horrible time by trashing ourselves, beating ourselves up, and you shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't have said that, and you know, going back into the past or projecting into the future with fear about our future. All of that is ego driven. If your ego is not at work, you're in the present moment. You're very, very focused in the present. A quick way to get there, and I'll talk about the strategies in a new slide, but even right now is just to like feel your body. I assume you're sitting down, maybe you're lying down, maybe you're standing, maybe you're driving, actually, whatever. But wherever you're at, you can just take a conscious breath. take that breath and take it in a different way, because obviously we're breathing all the time, right? But a conscious breath, there's something very different about it, because you're forced to, or if you're making an effort with it, you're forced to focus on it. So you come away from the mind, the busy mind. So that's one very good way of getting your freedom in the present moment, which is all there is. Eckhart Tolle always annoyed me when I said that. Oh, the present moment is all there is. But I'm really excited about my future. But it's okay to be excited about our future, but the attachment to it, that's where the pain and the stress comes in, because the reality is that right now is the moment that exists. So I have learned to fall more deeply in love with that, and I can see the richness in it and the benefits of that. The third pain body activator is our relationship to life. When we're arguing with reality, it shouldn't be that way. It should be different. It shouldn't be raining today. Arguing with reality. That's where the pain comes. When we're resisting reality, it causes constriction. It causes pain. When we accept it and actually realize that, here's a very good way of accepting. It's like, right now, right here in this moment, apart from my beliefs about how things should be, is everything okay? If I didn't have the belief, it should be different, it should be this, it should be that, right now in this moment, I'm not talking about in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or in a month or in a week, right now in this moment, is everything okay? The ego will not like that question. The ego will say, like, yeah, but, and it's dropping the ego and realizing, oh yeah, it's true. That peace, that stillness inside of me, it's always there waiting for me to access it. Because of our inner conflict is resisting the reality, that causes intense inner conflict. When we resist reality, it shouldn't be this way. That's causing the pain, not the actual situation. And then our conflict with people. If only he would understand me, if only she would change, if only she would do this or that, if only she would. We're so demanding. We have these expectations. You need to be like that in order to accommodate me. And it's really arrogant, when we stop to think about it. You need to, you lied to me because you showed up as a different person, and now I see a side of you that you were hiding, and you need to show up differently. It's like, because that's also when we're relying on that person for our happiness. How dare you deprive me of my happiness? We're insane. We're insane. It's like, I declare you responsible for my happiness. We can't. We're always going to lose, because nobody can keep that up. As hard as some people might try, because they love you and they're also dependent on your love. So they'll be like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's all, it's a house of cards. And when you have awareness around that and realize, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to take responsibility for my pain, for my joy, for everything, instead of outsourcing it. It's not something that can be outsourced. And anybody who's telling you that, or if you're watching on highlight reels on Facebook or Instagram, etc., and you're believing that other people's lives are rosy, think again. Think again. Because we all have that pain body. The pain body that Eckhart Tolle refers to, it's like, it's something that gets activated, and it really is like, it's this horrible energy that, and we resist it and resist it and resist it and try to escape it by something external. And the key is instead to be with the sensation and welcome it, allow it. Actually, Rumi also has a fabulous poem called The Guest House. It talks about letting all our emotions in. And it's like being, letting all the guests in, all the emotions in, and that they might be clearing you out for something new. So it's important to just ride that wave and be with whatever comes, instead of what we do as humans, because we never learned otherwise, is we resist it. And myself included. That's why it's so important to really be conscious with this work, and it's a daily reminder to be in presence, and it's daily. We need to remind, and we'll get fabulous teachers who will come into our lives if we think, yeah, I've got it now, yes, I'm evolved, and then someone will come, it's like, haha, you really think so? Get past this one. It's fascinating. I catch it. I see it in myself, and I can observe it and go, oh my God, I'm right in there. I'm entangled in it. Don't engage is something that I try to remember and tell clients as well. You know, I remember that was like a mantra that one client I worked with that she had, because with her mother, it was like every time she got sucked in and it was so painful. But what we tend to want to do is we want to defend, and instead it's like, let go, let them be right. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be free? Is another quote from Byron Katie, which I love. And our freedom is worth a lot more than being right. A lot more. Okay, our expectations of others, expecting them to be a certain way, and our expectations of life causes insane amounts of pain that's all avoidable. That's the exciting news. It's avoidable. It doesn't have to be like that. So our expectations of others, again, you know, we cannot, like, nothing is permanent, number one, and that includes also people. They can change, their needs can change, their pain, you know, if they're in pain, that might cause them to behave differently or not to be as present or attentive. And when we have that need to be taken care of or loved, etc., and that person is just not able to because they're in so much pain, then we suffer because we're believing, we have an expectation. I expect you to be in this mood for me. We don't consciously feel that. We don't consciously, but if you look deeper, that's what it is, you know? It's like, well, no, I know I can't expect them to, but it would really help if they would, you know? What's another alternative to that? Where's the growth opportunity in this for me? Surrender, acceptance, even to find a way to open our heart and love them as they are, which is what we all want, right? We are all powerful beings, all powerful and all powerful. All of us are powerful and we're all powerful. Gideon, sorry. We create our pain and we also create our freedom. So this is really great news. We have so much power. It's not random, right? So creating inner freedom inside of us starts and ends with us. We cannot help others if we don't resolve our inner conflict first. So this is why I believe, you know, like there's some great initiatives, there's some great, fantastic incentives for world peace, for example, among other things. But if there's a lot of ego operating inside that entity, whatever entity it is that has a positive cause, if there's a lot of ego in there, then it's going to really affect the impact and potential that that organization can have. So it's really important. It starts with us. And even before that, we can say, oh, let's go on a mission to banish those evil people. Start with yourself first. Clean up your own backyard first, the inner one. Everything else is fluff on the outside. And it's actually, the ego loves it. I heard Eckhart Tolle talking about this a few days ago, and it's really interesting. The ego loves to be on a mission where let's get rid of, or, you know, let's make those people pay. Those people need to be held responsible. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, but Niamh, like, they need to be held responsible. Yes. And there's a way of doing that without being an ego, right? It's like, and you can catch it. The more awareness that you develop around ego, you'll be able to catch it. You'll feel, is this constrictive or is this heart opening? Yeah. Also, I want to say, I truly believe that, and I'll quote Byron Katie again, she was a great teacher to me, underneath all the confusion is love. And I firmly believe that. And most people disagree with me. Comment below and let me know what your thoughts on it are. But that's what I believe, is that okay, comment if any. I've lost the live stream on Facebook, but I'll check the comments after. But I do believe firmly that there's nobody born into this world bad, right? We're conditioned, and if somebody, like, hurt people hurt, Nobody's going to hurt anybody else unless they're hurting themselves. It comes from pain. Now, if we can see that, then we can also see that nothing's personal. It's not about us. It's somebody in pain expressing their pain. So I find that really valuable to remember, because if nothing's personal, then you don't need to get hurt by it. And the work of Byron Katie, again, is a very powerful process for investigating that and realizing, oh my God, like I was making that about me, because the ego loves to make it about me, me, or you know, the person, the self. And it never was. It never was. It was somebody in pain acting out and, you know, believing, you know, power, greed, etc. That's all fear, by the way. There's two basic emotions, fear and love. Fear, pain, and the opposite is love. So yeah, let's, you know, I believe that getting to inner freedom is cleaning up that inside of us, all that conflict inside of us. And we get ample opportunities to do that. It's all the pain that comes up in our lives, all the things that we feel like resisting, it's leaning into it. Inner freedom is available to us all. It's a choice we can all make regardless of our life circumstances. I want to, for the ones that listen to this and think, yeah, well, that's just for people who have, you know, who don't have a life as challenging as mine. It's available to us all. And the best example of that is Viktor Frankl. There's many examples, but I think Viktor Frankl is a very good one. Man's Search for Meaning is a book he wrote, and it was his experience inside Auschwitz. He was a survivor, and his belief was that if you have a sense of purpose, that you can keep going no matter how horrendous your circumstances are. And I really do believe that. And, you know, no matter what, also, if you believe that we're just passing through here, which I do believe, then it's like, okay, I don't have to take this as seriously as I'm taking it, because we're just passing through. We're just passing through. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, is what I believe. It's very hard otherwise to find this freedom, I think, if you don't believe that. I don't know. Okay, Byron Katie, I love this quote. So she's talking about, so Byron Katie was extremely depressed, angry. Her children were afraid of her. She was 44 years old. She was agoraphobic. She was working. She had a successful real estate business, but she was operating it from her bedroom. She was severely overweight. She drank too much. She went to a halfway house and was sleeping on the floor. Her self-esteem was so low, she didn't believe she deserved a bed for some reason. That's what she shares. She was in the attic away from everyone else because they had to separate her because she was so angry. And I guess it just got so extreme that something happened. A cockroach crawled over her foot. Sorry, that's my dog barking. Sasha, shh, come. Sorry. And she said, this is her experience. For the first time in my life, I was seeing without concepts, without thoughts or an internal story. All my rage, all the thoughts that had been troubling me, my whole world, the whole world was gone. There was no me. It was as if something else had woken up. It opened its eyes. It was looking through Katie's eyes, and it was crisp, it was bright, it was new. It had never been here before. Everything was unrecognizable, and it was so delighted. That's so beautiful. Now, I haven't had that, but I have had glimpses. And actually, even earlier this week, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I was doing a walking meditation, and I got this really beautiful experience of connection and oneness. And it's something I practice as well, is not labeling things and just being at one with everything. And it's kind of hard to explain, but it's again behind the mind, behind the ego. Sorry, my dog keeps, I'm trying to leave my hand down, and now Sasha's like, no, keep on patting me. She's here beside me. Anyway, so, and when I get that, I'm like, oh my God, this is available to you all the time, Niamh. Like, come on, like, access it more. It's so beautiful. It's such a rich experience that is available to you too. Anybody listening to this as well. The ego is the cause of our all pain. Your ego, which doesn't even really exist, but that's another story. But it will try to keep you from accessing this connection, this oneness. It's man-made. So it all started when you came into this world connected, not knowing you were separate. You didn't know anything about separateness, because words, by the way, separate. And the first word, well, you let Mama and Papa probably first, but your name, you were told your name, you have a name. that's not who you are. I'm not Niamh. I am Niamh, but I'm not. I mean, it's just a name that was given to me, a label. And all these labels, and it's like, okay, I'm Niamh, okay, and now I have a personality, and I'm Irish, and I'm a respectful person that I don't know. I'm trying to think now of what I learned, how I was conditioned as a child that goes to church every Sunday, and you know, there's certain things that I learned. I learned things about money. I learned things about people, about relationships. They were all things that, and as a result of that, I accumulated thousands of beliefs. It's conditioning and beliefs, but all of those were accumulated and learned. They're not what I came into the world with. I came into the world with love and a bit of anger when I was hungry, probably things like that too, right? That's all normal human emotions that I allowed myself to express, right? But as time went on, I started to learn, I get love, I get attention if I play this role, right? That's what we do, we play a role. Oh, okay, they're gonna like me if I say this. And we put on this mask, which is not who we truly are. And it becomes exhausting and gets very painful. And to the point where, and that's what leads us to spirituality, right? That's what led me there. Yeah, because we want to find a way to deal with this pain, because it's like, oh my God, I can't keep this up. Like there has to be another way, right? So the ego loves self-importance. It likes that because, you know, it's like, it feels like, oh yes, people love me, and so then I'm safe. But you know deep down that you're not, because if, for example, you become a famous pop star or even a famous coach, right, and you get, you know, famous in any respect, people are going to love you for what you are, not for who you are, your true essence, right? And that's why, you know, people get so upset when they reach those heights and realize, oh my God, I thought that everything was going to be great when I got here, and it's not. It never is, because the pain is, all our pain is caused by that separateness, the ego dividing us. So it really doesn't matter, you know, what you accumulate. You can accumulate all you want, although you won't really care about accumulating a ton of stuff, because you know that that's not ever going to bring you happiness or joy. You know that it's this true, your essence inside of you is the only thing. It's the only thing that can do it. Everything outside of you, if you're relying on things outside of you, honestly, they could be all gone tomorrow. That's the scary reality, right? But this inside of us, that won't be gone tomorrow. That won't even be gone when your human body dies. So the ego keeps us separate and turns us into liars. It's maybe a bit extreme, but it's actually true. All fighting for approval, recognition, quick hits that never last, because it's all externally validated. It's words and labels and beliefs on top of our true essence, also called our true nature. Our true essence is the you behind your ego. It's the one behind all those beliefs, all those stories, all that conditioning. It's a stillness, and it's right there right now. It's right there right now for you and for me. It's just we don't spend enough time to be with it, to allow it to emerge. So behind our ego, behind the Niamh with all that conditioning, etc., there's no one to defend, because there's no one really there. It's just it's a being, it's a stillness. So that stillness has nothing to defend. And so it doesn't matter. It's easy to let other people be right, because if that's who you truly are, then it has no self-interest. It's just a beautiful feeling of love and connection. Okay, no need to be right. We easily let the other person be right, be better than us, because there's no us really, be judgmental of us. There's nothing and no one to defend. It's a relief, right? Eckhart Tolle, I think it's on page 49 of his book, The Power of Now. The secret to life is to die before you die. And I love that. The secret to life is to die before you die. It obviously is the death of the ego, the death of your identity. Now, obviously, it cannot die, because I can't renounce my name and my passport and stuff. But there's much less attachment to it. And it's just really like, yes, I need that to function. But what I want to do is be as much connected with my true essence as possible. That's where my peace lies. That's where my freedom lies, inside of me. And when I need to say my name is Niamh and I'm Irish or whatever, then yeah, I use that to function. But there's no, I'm Irish and we're better than, I won't even say, but you know what I mean, right? That comes from ego, the belief, right? That, you know, it's like, it's really interesting. I mean, it's beautiful to follow, to be proud of our country, but just notice when the ego comes in, because basically when we're in our true nature, our true essence, everyone's equal. There's nobody better, there's nobody worse. We're all the same, right? Yeah. But if we get into, oh, we're better than them, that's the ego. That's the ego. Or we're worse than them also. Okay, I'm just reminding you of this again because I believe it's so crucial to getting to inner freedom, which is what I want to help you to get in this masterclass. And just to remind you of this, for the first time in my life, I was seeing without concepts, without thoughts or an internal story. It's our stories, all our stories about ourselves, about others, about life. That's what causes our pain. And this is, again, the power of the work of Byron Katie. She's got a process called The Work. And there's 4 simple questions, which I won't go through right now, but I just want to share the 4th question. Once you identify what the story is, what the belief is, the 4th question is, who would you be without your story? And sometimes I just jump straight to question 4 and I go, and you instantly feel lighter when you get practiced at it. Who would I be without the story that shouldn't be happening? Oh, I'd be allowing it. Who would I be without the story that the future is a catastrophe? I'd be present and not busy, you know, thinking about fearing the future. Presence. Okay. Getting to inner freedom, right? So here's some tools to get there. Meditation is the most direct pathway to get there. Now, I have to say, half the time a good half the time, if not more, my mind is busy. And for me, it's just, it's a constant practice to go behind my thoughts. So I catch it and I come back. But that's good enough for me because I get the connection, I get the presence, and then the ego will go, she's not paying attention, and it will pull me into a story about something. It's like, okay, there I go again. And you know what's interesting? I remember just a couple of months ago, I realized this. I was busy with something. I was upset about something in my life, some drama that happened. And so I was meditating and I noticed my mind so busy with it. I was hooked in. And then that got resolved. So a couple of days later, there was, you know, that was not an issue. But then something else came up and I noticed a few days later, my mind again hooked with something else. And then I realized, like, it doesn't matter. The ego doesn't care. It just wants to hook you. It just wants to pull you out of presence, and it will try anything. But my realization was that, why do I take all this so seriously? All of this, like, oh, you know, and I get busy mind over it, because nothing is permanent. It all passes. All of it's going to be gone in the next 50 years, right? Unless you're 10 and you're watching this, or 20 or 30, well, or 40 or 50. Let's say in 100 years, it's definitely like none of us are going to be here in 100 years. Well, unless science really advances, right? So it's like, but we take it all so seriously. So a quick fix is not taking it so seriously, but also going behind the mind. So meditation is a practice of mindfulness, which is presence, of focusing the mind on a particular object, thought, or activity to train attention and awareness and a calm state beyond your thoughts. It's going behind your thoughts. So personally, what the meditations that I like to do, I love to do Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation. I find his very interesting. He gets such incredible results for people that are transforming their lives through the practice of meditation. So many incredible in healings, physical healings. I would recommend it for anybody with physical ailments to follow. I mean, I've got tendonitis in my left arm, elbow. And so I'm just, you know, when I do Dr. Joe's meditation, I focus on that being healed. You know, it's not actually, it doesn't even hurt me unless I'm at the gym, but I still I'm like, okay, well, yeah, let's send some healing there. I clear the energy centers, the chakras. That's the meditation that I love. By the way, I actually just transcribed his meditation because for a private client who prefers my voice to Dr. Joe Dispenza's voice, which I take as a great compliment. So I'm actually going to be recording his meditation this weekend. So yeah, that's a perk that all my clients get. So if you're a client and you're watching this, yes, you're going to get it too. And then you can decide whether you prefer my voice or Dr. Joe's voice. Right. Number 2, radical presence, being in the now. So no past, no future, being in the now. It's like what I said, a great question to get there is, without your thoughts and your beliefs, right here, right now, are you okay? And you can't possibly answer, no, I'm not. Now, if you have a pain level that's really, really high right now, I could understand it, but again, Byron Katie says, pain is always on the way out. Pain is always on the way out. I've tried that out when I've been in pain, but I'm not there yet. But the more present you can get, the less pain you're going to feel, emotional or physical. Breathing techniques, breathing is so under-emphasized. You know, it should be much more emphasized in school. Oh, yeah, the whole curriculum should be so different in schools. Like if we learned these techniques at an early age, it would avoid so much grief. Many different techniques. There's many different breathing techniques, but honestly, simple, keep it simple. You know, there is transformational breathing, which is a very powerful, deep healing process. But just, you know, if you were to breathe and the gap between your in-breath and your out-breath, to focus on that. I mean, that's a mindful way to breathe. Or box breathing is great, where you visualize a box and you breathe in, and then you're drawing a box in your mind. You breathe in, gap, like you hold it. You breathe out, and the gap where you hold it. So you go. Right? It's a box. It's so simple, but that's life-changing, and it's completely free and completely available to everybody, everywhere. We forget to breathe, to consciously breathe. I really do a lot. Forget. Okay, body work. So anything like, you know, if I get a massage or I do yoga every morning, and that really brings me into my body. And the gym also does it for me, you know, especially if I'm lifting hard, because you have to be so focused on it, and it's rare that my mind is going to be thinking about some drama. I'm just very present in my body and out of my mind, because remember, all pain happens in the mind, right? If your mind isn't thinking, is the pain there? Is the emotional pain there? Is the, you know, it's from a past or from a future. It's never in the present. Test it out. Okay, yes, I'm glad I remembered to put this point in. Challenge your I can't meditate belief. A lot of people will say, oh, I tried it and I just can't. If you're sitting still, and with consciously deciding to meditate, you're meditating. Your mind might be busy, but you know, like I told you, it happens to me so much. My mind is like a wild horse that I'm constantly having to tame. Not constantly, but you know, there's some days where it's really busy. Yeah. So you'll get better at it. It's a practice. It's a practice, and it's a focus. And it's going to help you in so many areas of your life. It's interesting. I was listening to an interview. Ed Milet, I like his podcast. He was interviewing a monk. I can't remember the monk's name, but let me know if you're interested. I'll probably be able to find it again. But it was a very interesting interview for me, because the monk was talking about the benefits of meditation. And I was like he was saying, one thing is like, you'll never hold on to stuff. You know, like you'll never hold on to resentment, etc. And I thought, oh, that's true. Actually, it's for me. I don't think I do, really, much less than before. And I would say that that's a direct result of meditation. There's a few more benefits. I can't remember what they were now, but it's really being able to let go of things much faster. So you'll notice benefits trickle into your life. And yeah, the more present you're going to be, the less stress, the less pain, and slowing down, which for me that's a work that I have to consciously do for myself, because I'm a fast person, and yeah, I'm just kind of programmed that way. But I'm working on it. The hardest part about getting there is yeah, if you're in pain, your ego is at work. And, you know, if your pain body is activated, if you're triggered, then it can be hard to let go of that. So, you know, having awareness and noticing, oh, okay, there's my pain body. There's my mind going, blah, 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 right? And it's like, don't engage with it, pretending it's like a different person. You know, don't engage with it. Just allow it, you know, let the thoughts come and let them go, right? It's like a pen, right? It's like, right? And just the same for, okay, there's my mind going, my aunt shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. It shouldn't have been like that. Oh yeah, look, interesting. It's having a field day. My mind is having a field day. If you're the observer of it, then you're not attached to it, right? You're not in it. You're looking at it. So the ego will do everything to steal your opportunity for inner freedom. Everything it can. It'll come through the cracks. You'll think, I'm free of it now. No, you're not. It'll come back. It'll find a way. And it's constantly trying to keep you alive. That's what it's trying to do. And awareness of that is the first step in letting it go. So how to succeed? It's a conscious, ongoing practice and commitment. Now, Eckhart Tolle would disagree with me, but hey ho, he's completely evolved, because he would say, well, no, because, and it's true, like it could actually just come like Byron Katie. It could be a sudden thing, which, wow, how awesome would that be? You know, where you suddenly just have that and it never leaves you, right? But we don't know. We don't know if it's going to leave us or not. You know, that feeling of oneness and connection and being in our true essence all the time. But pray on it, right? I pray to God. And, you know, for me, that true essence, that is God, right? So it's like, please, God, help me not to get hooked by my ego. Help me to stay clear. Help me to slow down and to stay conscious. And that's why I put slow down there, because for me, that's a massive part of it. I've discovered for myself. Slow down, stay conscious. When I go unconscious, the ego is like, oh, it's having a field day. So don't take the bait. It really is like the ego fishes, and it will consistently try to hook you. And it can be really hard to not take the bait. And it'll, you know, it's like, you know, the devil promising you, like, oh, come with me. It's like Jesus in, where was he, the desert or somewhere for 40 days? It was the desert, right? And the desert was the devil was constantly tempting him. Come on, I'll give you lots of riches. I'll give you lots of goodies, right? And it's like, oh, okay, then, oh, you'll give me that. Oh, you'll give me that person. Ooh, right? And it's so tempting. And it's like, stay conscious. Freedom is inside of me, not out there with those promises, right? Stay conscious. Don't get hooked. The best part about succeeding is the freedom, right? You're free, and also free to follow your true purpose, which lives inside of you, your true purpose. And it's already there. It just gets to emerge when you let go of fear, when you let go of conditioning and shoulds and shouldn'ts and what will people think and how could I. You just let go of all that and you just take the next right step. No more fear, no more anger, no more hate, no more expectations as well. And no more life should give me this. I expect and I am deserving of this. It's like, let it all go. Let it all go and just allow whatever is to unfold. It's a lot more peaceful. It's a lot more peaceful. For sure, we can have vision boards, we can have vision, we can manifest, absolutely. And I'm delighted to see that Eckhart Tolle is sharing a lot about manifestation now. He's running a program on it. So it's not, you know, but it has to be done from the right place. It has to be done from that place of peace, inner peace and presence. And not with the belief of, when I get there, then I'll be happy. Right now in this present moment is where happiness lives. And also, by the way, you can, even when you're experiencing pain, right there, it's okay, right? We're going to, it's a natural part of life, right? Or anger, it's a natural part of life. So yeah, that's kind of when I say no more anger. So there will be anger, it's an emotion that, but it's not busyness in the mind. You're present with it and you're allowing and you're feeling into it, right? It's like, it's your pain body that you're, when you actively practice presence and being with it, and you notice, you know, there's an aliveness to it, and it's not actually a bad feeling. Yeah, but if it's from the mind, It's like, and they should do this and they should do that. That's painful, right? That's painful, as you know, right? I don't think I'm the only one that is aware of that. Okay, so the Fired Up Coaching Academy, I want to share with you, this is the coaching academy I mentioned that I have at the start. There's 7 pillars inside the Fired Up Coaching Academy, which are they're the acronym Fired Up. F for find your purpose, I, identify your plan, or is revolutionize your thinking, because our thoughts cause all our suffering. E is ego transcendence, and this is something that I've decided to focus more and more on inside the Fired Up Coaching Academy, because I believe in order to live our true purpose and in order to have the impact that we want to have, we have to drop our ego. Our ego holds us back so much from fulfilling our life's purpose. D is do the work. U is unleash yourself, the one that's free of ego. And P is perfectionism, be gone. Yeah, because of course, perfectionism comes from ego. I can't do that because it's not perfect enough, and I don't want, what will people think, or what will I think, right? That comes from ego. And when you let go of that perfectionism and just do it messy, there's a freedom in that. So those are the 7 pillars, and I'm sharing that with you because if you're interested to join the Fired Up Coaching Academy, then I want to let you know about it, that you can contact me, for the link for it. But just for your information, I'm currently running a 10-week coaching skills program. You can join it anytime. It's a fabulous group. I deliver the trainings every Tuesday. We've got 3 trainings delivered so far. You don't have to become a coach in order to be, it could be for self-coaching, right? Because it has to start with us, inside of us. So you'll get some great tools there for self-coaching, as well as, of course, if you want to become a coach, then there's certain requirements that are needed, and you'll get a certification to become a Fired Up coach. The online business building skills commences in January. That's a 10-week program for putting yourself out there, unleashing your business in a way that's as much detached from ego as possible. The great news is, and this is for the people already there inside the Fired Up Coaching Academy, do not know this yet, I am going to run also in January Ego Transcendence, a 10-week program on ego, because I'm so passionate about it that I want to go deep and bring whoever is interested to come and join me. And it really will be that practice of staying conscious, slowing down, and operating as much as possible in your life from your true essence. There's also inside the Fired Up Coaching Academy a vault of 8x30 pre-recorded trainings related to mindset, positive thinking, focus, alter ego, and money mindset. So that's the Fired Up Coaching Academy. Let me know if you want the link for that or want to know more about that. I'd be very happy to chat about that with you. Or if you're interested to work with me privately, you can also do that. I offer Voxer support, which is voice memo support. So you have daily access to me from Monday to Friday. Plus, you would have access to the group calls on Fired Up Coaching if you want to. That's not an obligation, but that would be just an additional bonus if you wanted to work with me privately, or be happy to do a custom program depending on your needs, even a VIP day. There you go. There's all the options. I'd be delighted to support you if my message resonates with you. But otherwise, I'm just delighted that you participated, and I hope that this benefited you. If it did, please pay it forward. Share it with somebody else that you think will benefit from it also. Thank you for being here, for your presence, and wishing you much love and inner freedom on your life journey. Bye. Bye.